Welcome back to Lost Legacies.
A Hidden City Book Company production.
I'm Sam.
I'm Matt.
Everybody, welcome back to yet another episode, another fantastic episode of your favorite podcast, Lost Legacies, where Matt and I are going to be talking about another episode of ANDOR. But before we get into that, Matt, how's it going?
I'm alright. Star Wars news, though. Do you hear about the actor Alex Ferns, who played Sarge?
No, what happened?
So apparently, I don't know if he was on a podcast or interview or what, but they asked him about not coming back for season 2 of Andor, and he said he was pissed. He got pissed when he got the call because Tony Gilroy's original plan was that Sarge was going to end up joining the rebellion, and he would be working with Luthen. And the whole thing is that you have Sarge and Cyril, who both start in the same place, but they go two totally opposite directions. I'm like, son of a bitch.
You called it.
That's what I wanted. That's all I wanted.
Called it. Wow.
I'm like, oh, so now I'm upset. I'm upset. Damn,
I'm
you,
sorry,
Tony
man.
Gilroy.
I mean, hey man, like, is it Tony Gilroy's fault, or like, there's any number of possible people whose fault it is. A couple of execs at Disney are like, well, I don't know how viable this is, or something.
Sure.
It's I feel like it's not just one person's fault.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, unfortunately, studios do have a lot of say, but
Yeah.
like, I don't like that at all. Let your creators create.
Yeah.
So yeah. So it was validating, but at the same time, just really disappointing because I feel like that's kind of what I want. That's kind of what's missing. We kind of get it a little bit with Lonnie, but we don't really see his story of like joining, joining the rebellion. He's kind of there from the start. Like, this all happens before the show starts.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Which I don't know. And I got a lot of things to say about this episode, so we'll get there.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, similar things. So yeah.
Uh-oh. Well, okay. I guess I just want to preface before we get into the episode. I'm watching Cloudward Ho, and I'm really enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, uh, yeah, it's such a good show, and I think of like Dimension 20 seasons, it's got to be one of my favorite. Just the cast is on fire. This, you can tell that this is something that Brennan has been wanting to do for years. This kind of just adventure punk. It's like, yeah, it's steampunk, but it's also just like it's about adventure, the spirit of adventure, and then of course everything that entails, all the good and the bad. And yeah, it's good. Highly recommend it. Go buy a Dropout subscription. It's like $7 right now. It's great.
Yeah. Well, I got to catch up for sure. But if we're going to talk D&D, they've been releasing campaign 4 Critical Role stuff, which
I did see the character art. Yeah.
Don't know how I feel about it. Like, the character art's great. It looks cool,
Yeah.
So we have an idea of who everyone is playing, but we don't know personalities or names or stories or anything like that. But it's like the best part of these games are not knowing what you're getting into.
Yeah.
And like it's, these aren't movies. We don't need trailers. And like they dropped the trailer today. Which was okay. It's kind of just Brennan narrating or whatever. And I'm like, okay, this is cool because it still doesn't tell us anything about it or the characters.
Yeah.
But like campaign 2, when everyone sat down at the table and you could tell that they had never, that nobody knew what they were playing. Like I think they were in like 3 different groups through like their session zeros or whatever. So like you can tell in the reactions. No one knew that Sam Riegel was playing a little goblin girl. And it was fresh and it was funny. And then you hear the voice and you're like, oh my God. Because he didn't do the voice. Most of them didn't do voices in their session zero.
Yeah.
And it's so fresh and it was so fun. And I even like because like they had in the weeks before the premiere, they had like the silhouettes of the characters, and it's like, oh, who's playing who, what race, what class, all this stuff.
Hmm.
And I was like, that was fun. And then campaign three comes along and there's none of that, which
Mm.
I'm like, okay, that's fine. And then you get into the campaign and or the first episode, and it's fine because we're meeting the characters for the first time. Three of them were from the miniseries, so it's like, okay.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But it was still fairly new characters. But you can tell not a single player at that table was surprised by another player. And you could see it in all
Mm.
their expressions. You know,
Okay.
there was no cheer when Ashton rages for the first time, revealing that he's a barbarian. I'm like,
Mm.
oh, okay.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And then when Sam Riegel shows up as a little robot, you get some smirks and stuff, but it's like everyone already knew. And I'm like,
Mm.
that's that sucks, man.
Yeah.
Like it feels like people always complain, oh, the show is scripted, blah, 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 which it's not. But it kind of felt like it was because like all the excitement it wasn't gone. It was still there because it's still episode one, but like they weren't surprising each other anymore, you
Yeah.
know? And I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. Travis's character who shows up later in the game, that was a nice surprise. It was a reveal. And I don't think anyone knew that was his character.
Mm.
So
Okay.
that was cool. That was exciting. Now this go around, maybe they do that. Maybe they're at the table, nobody knows who each person is playing. So
Hmm.
we'll see. But the fact that we as the audience know, we're like, oh, okay. I don't know. It's just it are D&D actual plays something you need to promo and advertise like this?
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
is that going to make a difference between like who turns up to watch on first night and who doesn't? Like, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
It's just
It
weird
it's
because
it is it yeah. Yeah. It's weird because it's like this is Critical Role,
yeah,
like any other like actual play show, I would feel like okay, like yeah, like this is interesting, it's different.
yeah,
I could definitely see them like needing the marketing or like wanting to, because
yeah,
it's exactly what you said, like this is, you know, it's not of the norm for actual plays to do that.
hmm,
And yeah, like I think that's probably the hardest thing right now is to like have a have an interesting hook or to get people in to watch your first episode.
right,
And like because that's kind of the thing that we've been saying this whole time, like actual plays, like they have to build their audience.
hmm,
Nobody's gonna come into this, with a huge number of fans right out of the gate. It's like no, like it takes time.
hmm,
Um, Especially people like Critical Role, like yeah, that's how they found success. So it
hmm,
just feels weird that like they're using this when it's like they are the face of actual plays of
yeah,
TTRPGs. It's like what, like I feel like you don't need to do anything like this. It's one thing to build hype,
yeah,
to get people excited about it, and maybe they're also excited to share this with everybody.
hmm,
But it does kind of feel a little weird where it's just like you guys kind of don't need to do that. Like
hmm.
you could literally just drop the episode right now and
Well,
everybody would tune in, you
and,
know?
and and that's the thing. Like they didn't have to make the trailer today, but they
Yeah.
did, and it was good. Okay,
Yeah.
and then like I think they did of Age of Umbra and the Exandriel Unlimiteds. They don't have to tease like the opening credits,
Mm,
but they
hmm.
do. They released it like the day or the week before, and I'm like,
Mm.
okay, that's fine. They don't have to do any of that. If they want to, that's fine. My problem is by doing that, it feels like they're spoiling it. Like
Yeah.
part of the joy is figuring out who's going to play who. Now, I don't know what Laura Bailey's character is or her personality, but I know she's playing like a little pixie now. I'm like, okay, it would have been nice to see
Save
it.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, save that for the game. Like, I don't know.
It's different maybe because there are so many people at this table, you know? I
I
mean,
guess. I mean,
like,
yeah.
yeah, because, well, I mean, like, I know that, they're gonna split off into, like three different groups or whatever. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. I'm guessing here.
Yeah, I would be really surprised if there's something in game that justifies quote unquote spoiling it before the show even starts. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like, I don't know. Like, and because like, but I mean, that's also my style as a player because I've noticed this a lot too. Um, Everyone gets excited about what everyone's playing and they start talking about it before the game. That's my number one issue with man, we're really going to D&D right now. This episode of the Sam Chat. That's my number one issue with session zeros,
hmm.
spoilers. You
Yeah.
know, uh, I get it. Give me some content warnings. Personally, I don't need that. I Nothing really triggers me, so I don't need that. But I understand how a lot of people do, so I get that. And I don't really think like a content warning is a spoiler. So
Yeah.
that is good as far as session zeros. What I don't like is, yeah, it could be fun to roll characters together. That's a big part of Daggerheart. But at the same time, like, I don't want you to know what I'm playing. My
Mm,
GM, sure, but I don't want you, Sam, to know what I'm playing. Because
mm.
part of the excitement for me is I want to surprise my brother, you know?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
don't want to know anything about what you're playing because I know it's going to be a surprise to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, like maybe if someone wants to be related or friend, because that's the thing too. In Daggerheart, everyone already knows each other. You know, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. Or
Yeah.
not everyone, but like it's built into the character creation. So I'm like, I know one of you. That's it. Everyone
Hmm.
else are strangers. So
Hmm.
don't come at me with that. Why do you trust me with this? I don't. I have no idea who you are. I want to meet you in game.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
I agree.
unless it's a specific game like, hey, you're on the Avengers, you just lost a major battle, and now, like episode one, you have to like get everyone back up. You got to go find Iron Man. So, you know, so like if it's mid story or if like we already been together for a while, okay, that's the game. I know the
Yeah.
setup, I know the rules.
Yeah.
But if that's not stated, like, no, I want this is the start, this is the origin, you
Hmm.
know? So
Hmm.
even technically in the books, Sam and Frodo aren't that close to Merry and Pippin.
Yeah.
Like they seem thick as thieves in the movie, but like there's still like there's some distance between them in the novels.
Hmm.
I'm like, okay, I like that. You know, it's still some going through some growing pains.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's just me personally.
And that's Matt's 2 cents.
2 cents. I was trying to think of how to tie
Well,
that into Andor, but
yeah.
I don't know. Oh, I just got to vent a little. So maybe the steam is off as we talk about this episode, but
There
no
you go.
promises.
There you go. Yeah, yeah. Speaking of which, that's what we're talking about. Talking about Andor season 2, episode 6. What a festive evening. Matt, apparently you have a lot on your mind. You have a lot to get off
Okay.
your chest. So
So,
let's go.
right out the gate, I think this
Okay.
is probably my second favorite episode. I
Okay.
think my
Okay.
my favorite one is easily the season 1 finale, you
Yes.
know.
Yeah, yeah.
This one though was so good, so solid. Uh let's talk about the negatives first.
Okay. Sure.
The big one was the death of Cinta.
Man, you're telling me.
The fact that she dies, fine. Okay. Um I you know, you can get into the whole meta context about Phrygian gay characters. Um
Hmm.
I understand that perspective. Um but even then it's not her death in particular that upset me. It broke my heart because I really liked her and Vale together, you know?
Yeah.
My problem, Sam, was my exact same problem with Brazos' death, and it just comes out of nowhere. And here's the key, and I think this is something I didn't emphasize enough when we talked about Brazos' death. We don't see it happen.
Yeah.
I understand the thinking of just having sure these characters they could just die. That's real life. That's war. That's what happens. I can get that.
Hmm.
But I feel like if that's the point you're driving home, you're trying to drive home, you have to it's like you have to take extra special caution in the way you do it because it feels so easily it's just throwaway. That's how I feel like Brazo's death was.
Hmm.
You know, I'm just like, oh, what? I didn't even know he was dead. I was like, okay, you said his arm was banged up. I'm like, all right, so what? This is sci-fi. How strong are these laser guns? You know,
Yeah.
if you get hit in the hand, will it kill you? If you get hit in the foot, apparently Brazos got hit in the arm.
Hmm.
But you don't know. It
It,
could have been the
it
arm chest thing.
it was the shoulder. He got hit in the back of the shoulder, but yeah, I
But
digress.
yeah, how do we know? You know, like this episode, Cinta, you could straight up see it looked like a bullet hole. You know, I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, all right. I think this was a lot. This death was a lot done a lot better than Brazos, but it's
Hmm.
still if you want to just have the sense of anyone can die at any time and it can feel meaningless. It's almost like you have to put extra special care and attention into that death. You
Yeah.
cannot do it off screen. And I'm just saying, and it's just, it just felt like a trope. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, of course, the character we like is accidentally shot off screen. You know, I'm just
Hmm.
like, all right. This show has done so well in like setting up a trope only to tear it down and go like the opposite direction. And
Hmm.
that adds to this realism. And that's one of the reasons I really love this show. And then this was just like, oh no, it's oldest trope in the book. You
Yeah.
know, a random gunshot. And it's like, ah,
Yeah. It's like we're not, have we learned nothing since, Buffy
yeah, I was gonna say
and like
Tara all over
Tara's
again.
death? Like this
Yeah,
is, yeah, like this, frankly, this sucks.
yeah.
Um, you know,
There's another
uh,
major character who I won't talk about because of spoilers, but there's another major lesbian character in a property that I really love
oh
who
yeah. Yeah.
it ends up on the wrong end of a bullet. And boy, oh boy, did the fans riot. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my God. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And like this, unfortunately, this is not, like, this isn't new,
yeah,
like this isn't a new thing.
yeah,
Like there's a Gail Simone wrote an entire book about it, about,
yeah,
this is fridging.
yeah.
This is the a classic definition of that, especially because uh you have a brown woman, a woman of color,
Hmm.
who is, queer in some sense,
Hmm.
who is killed, fridged, all for the sake of progressing another white character.
Yeah,
It's like, so it's like
yeah.
it's crazy because it's like it's layered on so many levels. I'm like,
Hmm.
why this is bad. But also, I just kind of think in a storytelling perspective, like I want to come at this from the mindset of like, if we were gonna kill off Cinta this way, how come she hasn't been like a bigger part of the story?
Yeah.
You know?
So several things like yes, it's layered and that is part of it, but still, if Vel had been the one who got killed like that, or
We would still be having the same conversation for
or if it
sure.
had been Brazos who had got killed that way, it's
Yeah.
just it doesn't matter. It's a crappy death of a character,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And exactly, it falls into the tropes. I'm like, okay, I get it. That's why Vel and Cinta had their last night together, I
Mm-hmm.
guess.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, it was such a thing too. Like it's such a beautiful moment, between them. But that whole time, like I was like that character in Black Dynamite, who just like
I did
who
it.
who saw
I
that coming? I mean, yeah.
I totally did it, and like it surprised me, you know. So
Mm.
the surprise it worked on me, but
Okay.
then
Okay.
instantly I'm like, oh,
It just
I,
for
it's
me, it just
this.
felt like there too many, like this is too happy too fast, you know. It's like we're already
Mm,
here, we're already
yeah,
forgiven, you know,
yeah,
all this stuff. There's no raised
and
voices, and it's like it's very sweet and it's a very beautiful moment, but there's a part of me that's like
yeah.
something bad's gonna happen, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just like I so there's all of that. Like there's this literal scenario, this literal death has been done several times.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple part and not just that, but the setup and the relationship and the rekindling of the relationship. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we're assuming they slept together. And then,
Yeah.
it's beat for beat, it's been done over and over. And like not to say it was malicious, I think it's just kind of ignorance. It just doesn't pop into the writer's head,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
again, Tony Gilroy only writes the first, I want to say, two episodes of the season. So he's not writing this.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess he's still show running it. I have no
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
But still, as a show where you typically have a room of writers, they should have noticed this.
Yeah.
Um, but then on top of that, outside of the tropes, it was just a sucky death. I'm like, oh, okay. Um, So that was very, very disappointing. And again, kind of what you said, if they knew they were going to kill off Cinta, why wasn't she in the show this whole time? Like,
Yeah.
you didn't have to do the storyline of where they've been separated, or you still can, but focus more on her. Like, I don't,
Yeah.
this could have been, we really got Vel in the first three episodes because she's at the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
These three could have been Cinta, you know, on the
On Gorman.
Gorman, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of Vel, and then Vel shows up for this episode. Like I don't know, like there's just so many different ways you could have handled this,
Mm-hmm.
and it's disappointing for a show that's done really, really that has made strides to avoid or twist tropes.
Yeah.
They fall into the biggest, most dangerous one,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? So yeah. Um, that being said, one, I did like the setup for this in that it really wasn't anyone's fault. I thought this young guy was going to do something completely stupid. And I was like, no, it's this other guy, which, by the way, this big dude, he looks like a boulder. He
Mm-hmm.
was the guy who was leading the arguments and stuff at their little
Mm-hmm.
TED
At their
talk.
like little rally, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, this guy should have been on our team the whole time.
Right?
Yeah. So it was just like this thing that happens, a civilian who has no idea what's going on runs into the resistance, doesn't realize it's a resistance, and yeah. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, what what are you gonna do? Should the kid have not pulled the gun?
Mm-hmm.
Probably, but also knowing the stakes, who knows?
Yeah.
Would this have
Yeah.
happened if what's her name, that other girl, hadn't walked off with the old lady? Maybe. It's
Maybe.
like it's
Yeah.
one of those scenarios where like it's just what ifs.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know how this could have been prevented. And I kind of like that because uh even though the guy's clearly traumatized by it, and I love like the how Vel lays into him and says, no, you're gonna wear this for the rest of your life. She's always going to be a part of you, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And he definitely deserved that. But I like how at the end of the day, it wasn't really his fault. It's like this is one of those things where it's just like it's war, shit happens, accidents happen, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what really makes it tragic, It's
Yeah.
like, oh,
I mean, you know, it was that thing that Andor warned Luthen about, you know, towards the
yeah.
and towards the beginning of the episode, you know, where he, you know, Andor is getting scolded, you know,
Hmm.
essentially for saying, you know, like the war's already come to their doorstep and you're telling them, you know, to be careful. You
Yeah.
know, and it's like, but there's a reason why he did that.
Yeah.
Because when you rush, you get sloppy, you make mistakes, you
Hmm.
know, and we keep seeing like these are very proud people. They want to do this now that it's happening to them, they want to do something. They're being as careful as they feel like they should be.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, they're still, they're still gonna, protect themselves, all
Yeah.
that. This kid was straight up told nobody else is gonna have blasters, but Vel and
Oh, I
Cinta.
forgot about that.
Yeah, she
That's a
straight up says
big part of it.
nobody is gonna have
Oh
blasters
shit.
except for me and Cinta. And so the fact that he had the blaster is like, no, it is his fault.
That
It
is
is
his
his fuck
fault. I
up. It's
completely
his
forgot about that.
it's like I get it. You want to feel safe, you want to feel protected, but again, the only
Mm,
way this works is through the chain of command.
hmm.
Vel even lays that out at the start. It's like this only works when you respect that
Yeah.
line. So it's like no, she's fully right to lay in on him and that, but everything else you said is still right in that this happens,
I
you
retract my
know.
statement. It was his fault. But again, the scenario like this happens,
Yeah,
clearly he didn't want to use the gun on
yeah,
his own,
on his
fellow
comrade.
comrade, but he still pulled it.
Yeah,
But still, yeah, things like this happen all the time. And it could have easily been that little old lady who got shot, if
yeah.
that other girl hadn't walked off with her.
Mm.
Um,
Could have been any one of those people that got shot.
yeah,
Anybody there. Could have been Vel, for all we
yeah.
know. But yeah.
Yeah, man, that sucks. And I'm afraid that they're gonna kind of turn this on Luthen. Like Andor gave you his opinion. He said we shouldn't be involved with this, and we
Mm,
thought that was it. But then you still send Vel and Cinta, you
mm,
know? But at the same time, Luthen kept them apart.
yeah.
Vel and Cinta only took this if they were going to be together. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, damn it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, jeez.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Um,
Any other negatives you got?
uh, I'll get to it, but dude, I love this whole heist, or not, yeah, it was a heist, but I
Mm-hmm.
love all this, having to like stop this convoy of ships, I guess that's whatever they're called, to
Mm-hmm.
get the guns. I loved all of it. I dug it. I like how Cyril's kind of peeking in, and then Partagast and Deidre are like watching, and then dude, even at the end, Cyril's just like
Oh
he's like
my
catching his
God.
breath, and then he
So
smiles,
dramatic.
and I'm like, damn, dude.
It's like you were
Um,
fine. Like you're so God.
yeah.
He's so into this that like by the time it's all over, he's winded. Get out of
Yeah,
here.
I was like,
Oh my
geez.
God.
Uh,
Also,
so,
we did get a little tidbit when before all this like happens. I guess it's like just hours before, but it's when Deidre and Partagast are in the situation room
mhm.
of the ISB, and Deidre's like, yeah, we're still on board, with like everything is a go, and Partagast like just looks at her and he's like, and he has no idea what we're really doing here,
Mhm.
what this is really all about. And that just kind of made me think like, wait, what is this really all about? What do you mean it's not just uh uh um
Well,
it's not just the oh well I okay,
well,
as
we
I
already,
said it, I guess I realized,
yeah, we
yeah.
already know what they plan on doing to the planet, and I'm assuming this isn't a prison they're building. I'm thinking this is more of like, I mean, it could be, but I think it's more of just like,
Mhm. Well, they're building an armory. That's what they're saying, is that they're building the armory.
yeah, but the whole thing is like no one knows for sure. Like no one's talking about it,
Oh, right.
and Gorman. But uh, I don't like I don't know if Gorman is like they're not expecting an invasion.
Mm,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? And that's
yeah,
essentially what this is. Like I think it's kind of at the point of like, hey, if we don't have to, we won't. But we're probably going to have to because they're going to figure out what we're doing. We're like whatever it's called, deep mining the planet. You
right.
know,
Gouge mining.
gouge mining. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so I'm like, oh, that's interesting. It's gonna be interesting to hear Cyril's kind of take on it to see how he takes that news, which he'll
Yeah,
probably be fine with it. I don't know.
yeah. He's a
Uh,
weird little freak, so probably.
yeah, yeah. So But yeah, so I loved all this Gorman stuff. I don't know what else to say about it. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
gonna be crazy.
things are gonna get nuts. Um, the other heist to get the microphone out of the
Oh yeah.
party. I love that. I love a good story that revolves around a party scene.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many moving parts. I love how we meet a recast Bail Organa for a hot second,
Mm-hmm. Benjamin Bratt.
Benjamin Bratt, and I'm assuming he's going to come back and have a bigger role to play
I think so.
because if you're going to recast, that's telling me you have plans for this character.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
it's just like, oh, we're going to bring him in another show, then it's like, well, why don't you just not have him in the show in the hopes that you could get Jimmy Smits back for the other thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So, and
yeah.
apparently, I think Jimmy Smits has also played him in like the Clone Wars or something. Like it wasn't
He
just the movies.
yeah, yeah. He's played
So,
him in Clone Wars and he was in Obi-Wan.
oh, okay, nice,
Yeah, yeah.
nice.
Cuz yeah, he's kind of a minor character in
Yeah,
Obi-Wan.
because Leia's in it, right? Little
Yeah.
Leia. So
Yeah.
she's like the Baby Yoda of that show.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, who's the Baby Yoda of this one?
Uh there is none.
Cyril, Cyril and Deidre.
No,
Uh,
it was Nemec from last season.
oh yeah.
Look what happened. It's either
So,
Nemec or it's B2, and
oh
so
yeah,
you're either dead or you're abandoned on a farm world. You
yeah,
know, I'd rather be B2.
yeah. I love how Lonnie and the ISB are at the party as well. I'm like, oh, okay, we're mingling here. We're
Yeah,
mingling storylines, which is also nice because this is the halfway point. We only have
yeah,
6 episodes left, so I don't know how many more opportunities we're gonna have for these characters to weave through each other's stories.
yeah, exactly.
I like how what's her name? What's the
Clea.
Clea? I like how she kind of just pulls Lonnie aside and like gets down to business, and he's like, one thing I didn't like, but I get it, is how he's keeps freaking out. I'm walking away. I'm doing this. How could you be here? It's just like, bro, you're doing more to blow our cover than I am by being here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's just like, dude,
Mm-hmm.
calm down. But yeah, I like how he was basically just her distraction, and I don't know why she needed him to explain the concept of like the art piece, which was a book,
Oh
but
yeah, yeah.
I enjoyed that whole scenario of like how she's trying to break the thing and then she's bleeding, and I'm like, oh man.
Hmm.
Um, one thing, of course, I didn't like Krennic. I mean, he's just a vile, evil guy,
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
But I am nervous because he our antagonists of the show are Cyril and Deidre, and they're not people who have like our sympathy, but we understand them. They're fully fleshed out human characters, and I am invested in their stories.
right.
Krennic is just a twirling villain, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I'm kind of curious, like in these 6 episodes, are we gonna get to know more of him, or if not, I'm fine. I'm kind of cool with him just kind of showing up. He's only been in 2 episodes so far. I'm
Yeah,
fine if we don't see him until the finale, especially because I know what happens in Rogue One and all that stuff.
yeah.
But it's the same thing with like the Emperor. Like, man, this show has really great villains, but at the end of the day, it's just the villain of Star Wars is a very
It
like
just
po
sucks.
yeah, it's not a really
It just
well-written
sucks.
villain. Darth
Yeah,
Vader is cooler than the Emperor.
yeah.
Cyril and Deidre are more evil than this Emperor. Like
Hmm.
he's just bad to be bad, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's like yeah, I guess I like how you said that because I was gonna try and correct you, but no, like they are kind of more evil because so yeah, like Deidre, her parents were like seditionists or something,
Hmm.
and they were taken away, and so she grew up in an orphanage and is just fully bought into the Empire.
Yeah.
Cyril has always idolized the Empire to the point where, as a rent-a-cop on a backwater world, just is so like in lockstep, wanting to be like, this is how we get justice. This is how it gets done,
Hmm.
And it's like, for me, everything here does more than whatever there is in the legends or in the EU, or
Hmm.
anything or any of the comics or anything like that about why Sidious is the way that he is.
Hmm.
It's like it doesn't make like he Sidious is the mustache twirling villain. So is
Hmm.
Krennic.
Hmm.
And yeah, like it kind of hurts when you think about that. The like, man, you do have these like really like big bad evil villains. These are the BBGs of the universe, and
Yeah.
they're far less interesting than your minor villains, your minor antagonists in the
Hmm.
grand scheme. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, and so like in this episode, Krennic and Mon Mothma are having all these like back and forth kind of bickering, not full arguments, but they're like bickering and snapping at each
Hmm.
other.
It's like the polite conversation,
Yeah,
argument.
but like the whole time, like Krennic is so overshadowed by Mon,
Yeah,
in my opinion, because like I don't. Not that I'm saying like, oh, I need to know their motivation and what they're fighting for, but like he's just a puppet.
yeah,
He's just spewing all this stuff that like much like our real world, he's talking about like something he thinks he understands.
yeah.
But I'm not taking this guy serious one bit when you have fantastic antagonists like Deidre and Cyril
Hmm.
who you understand why they believe what they believe.
Yeah,
And this guy's just a talking puppet,
yeah,
And it's just like the only way you can fix that is if you actually get more into his character, trying to understand. And with 6 episodes left, I don't want to. I don't want to take away from any of our lead characters that we still have left, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
So yeah, so that makes me nervous because it's like, okay, is he going to be the main antagonist of this season, or is he just going to be like what he is right now? He's just kind of coming in and out.
I
Be-
I feel like I feel like, again, I haven't seen the back half of the season.
yeah.
But I feel like it is just gonna be what it is right now. He's
I hope
just gonna
so.
show up, like
Yeah.
he's just gonna be there. Like he's in the periphery,
Yeah.
because exactly, like it's exactly what you said. Like he's the leader of this project.
Right.
So he doesn't really, and we already know how that story goes. So it's like, so we're
Yeah.
seeing like this one piece, like how
Right.
are we gonna get Gorman? It's like that. So I feel like that's all it's gonna be.
Also, it's Ben Mendelsohn, who I really like, and he's a phenomenal actor,
Yeah.
but he's revisiting a character that he played back when this was all he can get.
Hmm.
Like, like when he kind of started getting more famous, all he could get were characters like this, just baddies, you know?
Hmm.
Yep.
And
Mhm.
not particular. Oh,
Not baddies, but like just bad guys, you
bad
know?
guys, and not particularly well written bad guys, because I don't think
Yeah.
Krennic in Rogue One is particularly well written either.
Yeah,
You
so
know.
it kind of feels like a step back for Ben Mendelsohn as well. Like
Mhm.
I don't know.
My I enjoy seeing him come back to this, if only because he doesn't have to be the stooge in his own project, because
Right.
he's billed as like the lead villain of Rogue One,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yet
yeah.
he's overshadowed by Tarkin and then Vader.
Yeah.
So then it's like, oh, so he's just a
And
lackey. Why do we care about this guy?
yeah, and I like how it's his story is kind of his quote unquote story is tied in with like Andor.
Yeah.
I remember after season 1 in the post-credit scene with the reveal that they're building the Death Star,
Hmm.
someone was on Reddit like 3 years ago when this came out. Someone was on Reddit like, why do they have to tie in with the Death Star? It just seems like extra. Like it was the show was fine on its own. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Like,
Because the
dude,
Death Star is intrinsically like tied in with Andor's story. Have
yeah.
you not seen Rogue One?
He's
Like,
he's he's building pieces of the machine that will eventually kill him.
yeah,
That's
yeah. He's
insane.
building pieces of the machine that he's going to die trying to destroy. Like the
Yeah.
Death Star is such a big part of Cassian's story, and Cassian never knows it.
Yeah.
It's like, of course, that's how you end the first season. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. That guy has no media literacy.
No, no, I just
Yeah.
yeah, idiot.
I hope in these 3 years you've learned better, Reddit
Yeah.
user.
Yeah, do better.
Read a book.
Uh yeah. I like to see Perrin and Mon just kind of getting along a little better.
It was interesting. I've really been looking at Perrin
Yeah.
this whole time, going back rewatching these 6 episodes. I'm really looking at Perrin because I feel like there was such a way about him in that first season where he's just like I'm kind of thinking back on it now, and it's like I really don't think there's any insidiousness in his character aside from
Yeah.
being like a rude husband,
Yeah, that's
you
my whole
know?
that was my whole point about him in season one. Like he's not a bad
Yeah.
guy. He's just complacent. That's his
Yeah.
biggest sin. Well, I guess also that he's a dick to his wife. But
Yeah.
like he's not evil. He's not Empire. He's one of those dudes who like it doesn't affect me, so I'm not really gonna care about it,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. And
Um,
and and it's interesting seeing him like especially in this one where like he can see like Mon like being upset at
yeah.
something and he immediately puts himself in front of her and
Yeah.
like starts to say something to Skulden, about like the art piece. Or like tell me about this one, it's like
Yeah.
that that's very interesting for a character who like last season
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have done that. He probably would have joined in on the laughter. And
Mhm.
it kind of maybe feels like maybe Perrin feels the walls closing in a little bit about like this is this like Galaxy's not great right now. And
Yeah.
like I got to support my wife,
Yeah. That could be
we
it.
are in the thick of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I was also watching Skeldon, and like when Krennic was saying, like, is that what you want? Like lawlessness and all this stuff. No, it has to be stepped out and blah blah blah. And Skeldon was giving him a look too. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
ooh, even this gangster who doesn't care who he associates with, like, he's got opinions on Krennic. I'm like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, I want to see Skeldon lead like the mafia
The
rebellion against the
mafia?
Empire. Yeah,
Hell
fight
yeah.
back.
Hell yeah.
So we won't talk about it here. We'll talk about it once the show ends. But Tony Gilroy has mentioned a spinoff he would like to see. Not saying that he'll do,
Yeah.
but that he would like to see, and he said he'll run it by Kathleen Kennedy. And I'm like, and I'm not gonna bring it up because he mentioned specific characters, so now I'm assuming they survive.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, who knows?
We'll
Who
see if they
knows?
line up with what my pitch for a show would be,
Ooh,
which I
okay.
won't say until we get to the very end.
Okay, okay.
Um, but yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, hey man, it's like it's like the thing where it's like you have a criminal, you have like a gangster in a room with a Nazi. And you're
Right?
like, yeah, like he probably doesn't like he'll take his money, but man, he doesn't share your opinion at all.
Where's like, dude, like we haven't got a lot of Skeldon in this enough to really say like I like this actor. I like
Oh
this
yeah.
character. But I'm liking this idea of this character. I'm
Hmm.
like, where's the
Hmm.
Thomas Shelby of the Star Wars universe? Where is the gangster who's going to fight back? The one who
Yeah.
kind of runs the criminal underworld of Coruscant. Like, I don't know, man.
I
Ideas.
think it's time we revisit that. Oh man, what was that? I feel like there's like two separate properties that were kind of talking about the same thing. There was that bounty hunter game.
The one that never
Uh,
got made?
yeah, the one that never got made. It was like level something.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, but it was essentially gonna be like you're either Boba Fett. I think you're a Boba Fett
Yeah.
on Coruscant, like, and you're deep within the criminal element of Coruscant. And
Yeah.
like now that I'm seeing more of this show, I'm like, maybe we should revisit that idea. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe we should get back into that. Maybe not
Hmm.
Boba Fett specifically,
Yeah.
but he'll show up. He'll be
Yeah.
like the special guest star of the episode.
I'm kind of bummed that the Star Wars Outlaws game wasn't that,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? I don't know much of the story, but it wasn't that. I know that for
Yeah.
sure. I was like,
Yeah.
dude, I want a full game that takes place entirely on Coruscant, like
Right?
a cyberpunk game. Like
Yeah.
why couldn't that be set in Star Wars? Like I've already talked. I think I mentioned to you, but like cyberpunk was essentially like my fan version of Batman Beyond. Like, how
Mm.
would you do it differently? And it's like I don't like the idea of Batman being this loner in his old age. Like I want him to get his
Yeah.
happy ending.
Yeah,
So
me
I would
too.
set Batman Beyond in the far future where Batman dies. He has his happy ending,
Hmm.
and he's with his family. He dies an old man. But essentially, Batman either shows up like as an AI or yeah, it'd probably be an AI. It's kind of like this is the emergency protocol I created in case we needed a new Batman, you know?
Hmm. Hmm.
So like Bruce Wayne's already gone, but Terry has Batman like in his head.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if he would be like a physical AI or if it's more like Cyberpunk, whereas like Johnny just keeps showing up in his head,
Mm.
you
Hmm.
know? So I'm like, that would be interesting. So he's like tied to the suits or the cave or something like that.
Hmm.
So that would be really
I
cool.
honestly, I think that's the way to go. You
Yeah.
know, that's
Also,
yeah.
I have thought about how I would do a cyberpunk Miami Vice. I've thought about it. I've thought about it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, starring Charlize Theron and Lakeith Stanfield.
Whoa, as Crockett and Tubbs?
Well, not the same characters, but yeah, yeah.
Oh no, as
So
Crockett and
modern
Tubbs.
day, I want Robert Pattinson and Michael B. Jordan as Crockett and Tubbs,
Let's go.
which
Let's
which
go.
they just announced 2027 a new Miami Vice movie
Hmm.
reboot. Apparently, I think they're adapting like the pilot episode into a movie. I'm like,
Okay.
oh,
Okay.
baby, bring it on. I love me my some Miami Vice. I know we're supposed to be feel very iffy about cops right now, but God, Crockett's and Tubbs, they were so cool.
Let me see the trailer and then I'll decide if we deserve a little bit of propaganda
All
as a
right.
treat, you know?
So, and I don't know if Michael Mann is involved at this at all, but we said, what's his
Mm.
name? Joseph
Uh
Kowalski, Krasinski? I don't remember. He directed
yeah.
F1, Top Gun Maverick, and Tron Legacy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the writers were
You
Dan
said it was
Gilroy
yeah, Dan Gilroy and
from
then one of the
Andor.
one of the writers of Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Which there are three and one of them is Christopher McQuarrie.
okay, it
So
wasn't him.
okay, it wasn't him.
Yeah,
Okay. It was one of
yeah,
the other two.
yeah. So Pattinson, Michael B. Jordan, and then in the future, Cyberpunk, it'd be Charlize Theron and Lakeith Stanfield.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. I just went like I didn't even have to think about it. I was like, who's the future cyberpunk version of Crockett and Tubbs? I'm like, oh, obviously.
Obviously.
It's like they have to be hardcore, more edgier than like the modern day ones, you
Yeah.
know?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
So yeah,
Oh,
I don't know. I think that's a cool couple right there.
that is, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Hmm. Anything else in this episode?
Oh, I mean, we didn't even touch on like Cassian and Bix.
Oh, it's the best freaking part, the ending.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the whole time, again, it's so like this isn't a complaint. It's just so fascinating how Cassian is um a side character in his own show. This
Hmm.
whole season, he's been on the sides. I wouldn't say sidelines because he's doing stuff, but he's never been the central focus,
Hmm.
which is weird. Uh, and so this whole episode where he talks with Luthen and they get an argument, and then he shows up at the shop, and again
Mm.
breaking protocol, and it's just like, damn, dude, and I'm so worried about Bix. Uh, but the light goes off and they have a mission, and it turns out, she's like, I'm going with you. He's like, I know, and it's like, turns out what the mission was, it was Gorst. I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, Luthen wouldn't have sent Cassian on his own because he knows Bix is gonna follow,
Yeah.
or he knows as soon as Cassian finds out it's Gorst, he's probably gonna tell. Well, I don't know. I don't know if Cassian would tell Bix.
I don't know.
He might try and do it on his own. But the point
Yeah.
is, Bix is the one who shows up and pops the guy from behind. I was like, oh,
Mm,
she doesn't. She
no.
threatens it. Worse, she puts the thing on him and tortures him the way he tortured her, but she just leaves him there. She pops
Hmm.
the cop outside. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And as they're
Yeah.
walking away, all cool and sexy, Cassian blows up the building. I was like, oh yeah.
Hmm.
Dude, that was so satisfying. Like,
Hmm.
oh. Also, there's only 6 episodes, so I'm glad we took care of the gore stuff. We got it the hell out.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
they mentioned that they're gonna do a whole like division, give him his own like program, I was like, oh crap, that's gonna be the rest of the show. Nope,
Yeah. Yeah.
nope, one and done. I was like,
And it
nice.
and it's so cool how like uh I don't know if it's cool, but it's interesting how this show now sort of allows you to just sort of process information.
Yeah,
You know, where it's like, oh, okay, Cassian and Bix, they're back together at the safe house. Lonnie finds out about Gorst,
yeah,
and then immediately rushes off. A little bit later on, Cassian and Bix see the signal go off, and then nothing else for the rest of the episode. Lonnie's
yeah.
off on his own adventure. Partagast is doing his own thing, you know, all this stuff, and then we end the episode with Doctor Gorst
Uh-huh.
and getting taken out by Bix, and I'm like, oh. Okay, cool. So it's like if you're paying attention, if you're laying all the pieces together, you don't need to have, you know,
Yeah,
because I feel like it might be like that's kind of maybe like a little more like Game of Thronesy, where it's just like every couple of chapters you get like the big thing that happens, but we've had to lay that in, you know, for like a couple of things, right? And I feel like that's a it's a very Martin way to do things, but I think that's also how a lot of like modern television has also been dealing with its like writing and its story arcs,
hmm,
you know, following kind of a Game of Thrones pattern, especially because, you know, Game of Thrones, you know, was a huge pioneer in the 10 episode season format,
hmm.
you know, so you have to hit your beats, you know, at like certain points. So I feel like a lot of shows kind of just like copied that.
I I feel like this is Game of Thrones done right.
Yeah.
Because when you look at
Yeah.
Game of Thrones, it was very much a show that uh they had all the details down and all the intricacies. So you knew who was going where and at what times and blah blah blah. But then by the time you get to those last 2 seasons, it's so loose.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, how many months have passed between episodes?
We don't
We're
know.
not really
Yeah.
saying. And then in the last season, it's like, okay, how many months have passed between scenes? We're
Yeah.
not really seeing. And like, that's to the detriment of the show. Like,
Yeah.
so much of the misunderstandings and confusion around that last season is because they weren't taking care of those details, which those details really made the show strong in that first half and even a little past, you know?
Hmm.
Whereas this show, it's like, we don't need those details. Our audience is smart enough to put the pieces together,
Hmm.
you know? And I'm like, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. The fact that it's this huge thing, we didn't have to see Cassian and Bix go on this side mission. If we got a full season, like 5 seasons, this probably would have been a major point. But the
Yeah.
fact that they don't even dedicate the episode to it, it's just the literal last 3, 4 minutes, and it works and it makes sense, and it's
Hmm.
done so. I think it's done so quickly and efficiently. It's badass, and it
Yeah.
just leads to the sensation of like, hell yes,
Yeah.
justice. There's still hope out there, you know.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Hmm.
kudos. Also, as far as that goes, pacing wise, one of my major complaints of this season, I feel like they finally got right here. The cutting back and forth. This episode,
Yeah.
so much cutting back and forth, but each storyline was firing on all cylinders.
Hmm.
And I think that's kind of what we were lacking from especially those first 3 episodes. You know, you
Hmm.
kept cutting back to one story that just wasn't as interesting as the others.
Hmm.
So when you're cutting back and forth, it slows things down. But
Yeah.
this one, dude, they're cutting between the heist on Gorman and the heist in the art gallery. And I'm
Hmm.
like, dude, this is so well done. And even in the art gallery, you have different parties moving around. You have Mon
Yeah.
and Ken Krennic fighting. You
Hmm.
have Luthen just kind of there on the sides watching. Then you have Clea and Lonnie doing their own thing. I'm like, dude, like there's so
Hmm.
many moving pieces, and it just like it clicked. And it's like, hey guys, welcome to Andor. Which also
And
sucks because this is the director's last episode of the season.
I know, I know.
So we'll
Uh,
see what happens going forward.
I know. I'm excited. I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited.
I'm also
I
nervous. Sorry, I'll just say one last thing. I'm also nervous
mm,
too because Dan Gilroy hasn't written for this season at all. And now he's coming
mm.
up. I think it's one or two more episodes until he gets there.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if that Miami Vice movie is going to be good or not. I'll let you know in a
Well,
couple weeks.
yeah, we'll have to find out when he gets
Yeah.
here in a couple
Yeah.
weeks. But my one thing is like uh I think it's the best thing about like the intercutting between the set pieces this episode is the fact that it's only two set pieces, you know,
Sure.
as you
Yeah.
know, because back in, like episode 3 of this season, we were going between like three different events that were happening at the same time,
Hmm.
and yeah, like there was just something that was off about that pacing. Whereas
Hmm.
I think it was really smart to have Gorman be the big set piece, but we could also cut back to Deidre and Partagast, or
Yeah.
Cyril. It's like
Yeah.
we had enough characters within each scene to focus on so that, hey, sure, fine, Cassian and Bix aren't here, but we don't need to see them going off and like planting, like the bombs or like go
Yeah.
infiltrating a building. We don't need to see that because this is so much stronger
Hmm.
that yeah, we can really just focus in on these stories and how they relate and tie into each other. And then end on the very nice button of a very bad man getting his just desserts.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see if the good feelings, we'll see if the good times keep rolling. You know, next time when we talk about Andor, season 2, episode 7, Messenger,
In which we shoot him.
in which Cassian heeds the call.
Uh-oh, is he finally going to become a leader? We'll see.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
But until then, everybody, thank you for joining us for yet another episode. If you like what you hear, please share it. Please go like, review, comment. Every little bit helps our channel grow, helps us get these episodes out here. Uh, if you have any comments, or if have anything you want to tell us, have any remarks that you want to comment on that Matt and I have made, just put in the hashtags. Hashtag Lost Legacies. We're on every platform. We will find it. You can find me on Instagram and Threads at Real. That's REL Texas Weirdo.
And I'm on Instagram and Threads at Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch and BluSky at Matthew Jimenez. Speaking of which,
Hmm.
I checked the Lost Legacies email. No
Okay.
one ever emails,
Oh, okay.
except there was one back in March
Oh no.
that I forgot to check from our
Oh
good buddy
no.
Dan. So
Dan.
Dan, if you're listening, uh, I hope you enjoy the series finale of Lost. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did.
Oh no, Dan. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no. I don't have it pulled up, but he was basically saying that like he just had a rad time just going on this adventure with us, just rewatching Lost and taking that journey. And I'm like, hey man, I enjoyed it too. It was kind of cool to have. Dan was the only person I think who like listened to the show through the whole Lost legacy with
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, thanks. Stick around. I don't think Dan's watching Star Wars. I know he had started, but I don't
Yeah.
know if he kept up.
Yeah.
Stick around
I,
because
I
once this show ends, we're hitting the holidays hard, and
mhm.
2026 is going to be a very new and different Lost Legacies.
Ooh.
Well, I don't know about new. More of the same Lost Legacies. Just
I was like,
slightly
new
askew.
and different. Are we fired? Are we
Just
fired from the show? They're getting new
yeah,
hosts.
Charlie Theron and Lakeith Stanfield. They're
I knew
replacing
it.
us.
I knew
Yeah.
it. Wow. Well,
Yeah.
good luck to him.
We're gonna make this podcast. Fuck.
Wow. Yeah. Well, good luck doing that every week. All right.
Yeah. Editing your own shows,
Yeah. Yeah.
Charlize.
Having to remember to watch episodes every week
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
postponing for a couple of days to record.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah. Yeah.
But thanks, Dan. Thanks for sticking it out through all of Lost. Love you, buddy. I know you were watching some of the movies with us, and I know you really liked Alien Romulus. So thanks for the comments on Threads, man. Alrighty, guys. Well, that's it for this episode. Again, thank you for coming out. We really appreciate it. We'll be here next week, and until then,
Fight the Empire.